everybody. I have a fun art project for you to do today. Hopefully you can work along with me. We're going to do some expressive painting today using just materials that you find around the house, hopefully. Maybe even out in your garage. We've got some old house paint, some latex paint. We've got acrylic paints. These little acrylic paints like this that you can find easily at the store. I've even got some spackling. We're going to have a little fun with that, some glitter. And then I just went around and gathered up some materials that we can use for stamping. We've got some cookie cutter shapes and plastic. We've got some trash items like paper towel tubes, tape tubes, even this fancy candy heart container, some string, yarn spools, these cool these cool rolling pins that have designs stamped on them. Then I've got some wooden like puzzle pieces of fish and different letters, and then some foam stamps like this. And if you don't have it, don't worry. Even if you have like a piece of foam like this or a piece of the construction foam like this, you can design your own shapes. You can cut this type of foam with a pair of scissors and you can make just little geometric shapes. You could also have your parents help you and cut some shapes out of the harder foam, again, geometric shapes or any shape that you want, and you can kind of make your own. You can also use just items around the house like a fork, different things in the utensil drawer, anything that will make a texture. Even this sponge, usually you use these things for cleaning out your glasses, but they're really fun to use to make some marks on the material. I've got some paint brushes and I've got a brayer. And so now we're going to switch over and actually start our painting. Okay, so we've gone over the materials that we're going to need to make our textures on the paper or the cardboard or whatever material we choose. I've put out some paint. You can see I've got a variety of different colors. These are in the acrylics. And then I've also got some of the leftover house paint. And if you don't have tons of different colors of the acrylic craft paint, but you have 3 or 4 colors in the garage of different types of house paint, you can use that. That would be fine. But you want to put some out on a large enough area that you can actually put the stamps into the paint. So I want to show you the materials first that we're starting with. We've got just cardboard, just regular cardboard. I've taken a paper bag and I've cut it into a few different pieces, so we have this nice brown paper. And then I've got just regular white paper. You could use copy paper even. And then I have a piece of paper. I'm lucky enough that I have a student who keeps me in these awesome decorative papers. And I'm going to show you kind of how he does that, because they make great bases for projects just like this. Because what we're going for with this expressive arts project, we really want these beautiful, decorative, kind of textures and colors on the surface, because we're going to use these papers later to do 2 or 3 different projects. So follow along. I've got my piece of white paper, and I'm just going to take some crayons now, and you can just make some marks, kind of scribble on it. You could do circles, spirals, and then just switch up with your colors. Add as many different colors as you want, just to put some design and some color and decoration on this paper. Okay, so mine's not quite as elaborate as this one, but we're gonna go for it here and start using some of our stamps. So I'm gonna start off and use one of the foam stamps, because we're gonna use this little brayer here, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. So I have a piece of acrylic down on the table, and I'm just gonna squirt some acrylic paint, and then I'm gonna use my brayer to kind of spread that out. Now you could either dip it right into that, but I'm just going to use the brayer and put it on here. But students at home might just really like to just kind of dip it in there like that. And then I'm just going to start stamping that design onto my paper. And so we're adding one more layer to what we've already got there. Now for starting out new, we might want to just add a whole layer of this type of design to our surface. Okay. You might want to do it a little more exact and line it up. Some of our students like to really plan out what they're doing. Okay. So just we're just making marks now. So the other thing, everybody, you know, you may have a paintbrush at home, so we can do just some lines. So we can just grab some color here, and we might just want to just scribble some lines right over the top of what we just did. And if it's looking a little messy or a little chaotic, that's okay, because in the end we're cutting this up into little pieces. So all of these little marks and all of this color, they're going to create these wonderful little pieces like this that we need for our next project. So you just want to keep adding layers. So on this piece of cardboard, I used the latex house paint that I had left over, and even you know, if you have paint that's kind of gunky in there, it's a few years old, you can still use that. I just painted the entire surface of the cardboard with this paint so that it wasn't brown in the background, and you can use a variety of different colors if you want. Again, there's no right or wrong way. You just want textures and layers. That's what we're after. And then after this dries, or even while it's wet, you can use this surface to start putting down your stamping and your different marks with the materials from around the house. You know, paper towel tube, that's a real easy one for students to use and pretty readily available. Toilet paper rolls. You can use plastic cookie cutters. They wash up really easily with soap and water. The paint will come right off. That's one thing not to worry about when using acrylic or latex. Just warm soapy water. It usually comes off most any surface. It's a little more difficult to get out of clothing, so I would suggest wearing an old t-shirt or an apron when you're doing this kind of work at home. I wanted to try out this this spool. I thought that was kind of a neat design on the end there. You know, it really is. And look, I'm putting that right inside the circle. Almost looks like a lemon wedge, a citrus, kind of a citrus look. And then the students like to use string. I'm going to show an example of that. Because what you do with the string is you really just saturate it with the paint. And it's kind of messy, so if you have some latex gloves, they can wear latex, but you know, sometimes we just use our bare hands and we wash up later. So you just kind of lay that down, and then you can just pull it along and then you can just kind of slap it too to make lines like that. It's kind of fun. And you know, if you're out in the garage, or if it's a nice day outside, you can do this outdoors and really have a lot of fun. This concludes part 1 of expressive painting. I hope you'll tune in next time for some more fun and creative projects using the decorative papers that we created today.